Hello, Taurus, and maybe the people that love them. This is going to be the April 2020 forecast for Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. So, if you're a Taurus Sun, you're in the right place. If you don't know your Moon and Rising, you will get enough information from this. If you do know your Moon and Rising signs, then I encourage you to look at those videos as well. Just something you should know about me as a reader is I tend to channel a lot of things that are related to soul evolution and karmic cycles. So a lot of what I do is pretty internal. I'll channel a lot of mental experience, a lot of emotional experience, and things from the external world and circumstances do come in. But I do kind of read them from the placement of like, okay, this is how you're interacting with this situation. But you can apply this to anything in your life. So whether it's like wealth, health, money, career, home and family, love, anything like that. You can apply as you see fit. Please take what resonates, leave what does not. Not every single thing I say is going to resonate with every single Taurus, especially in the way that I say it. So please don't try to make something fit if it doesn't fit. On that note, I think I'll just get started. So, in the position of kind of the heart of the matter, the theme, the through line that's going to be running through all of April is the Emperor, which is an amazing energy. It's the energy of Aries. And so you're really going to be in your power in this month. You're really going to be sort of in a leadership role, maybe, or at least feeling like you could take on a leadership role. Aware of where you are, mentally, emotionally aligned, maybe doing good work, doing your work, feeling energy, feeling dynamic. You're going to be standing in your power this month. Interestingly, what is crossing this energy, kind of the challenge that will ultimately help you maintain that Emperor energy, is two cards, the Five of Pentacles and it's Adjustment in this deck, but in typical tarot it'd be the Justice card, which is the energy of Libra, right, which is all about balance. So with the Five of Pentacles can come some worry, some anxiety, maybe. I get the sense that, a lot of things are changing and a lot of things are uncertain in the world right now. You're not necessarily a sign that loves change, right? So that could be a lot of where this anxiety is coming from, especially with the Justice card. I just get the sense that there's a shift in your life, and you're kind of like, oh, is it going to be okay? But I mean, you've got this Emperor energy with you, so it's absolutely going to be okay. You're going to be fine. Coming up in your recent past, we've got really beautiful energy. We've got the Ten of Cups, and we've got the Three of Cups. Now, this is in your past, but it's showing up in the reading, which means that, it's still relevant. You're still feeling this, right? The Ten of Cups is all about pleasure and happiness, and so you may be coming into April in a really good place, which may be helping facilitate this Emperor energy that you're carrying. You've also got the Three of Cups, which generally means like a good time or like a celebration. Maybe you've been hanging out with friends, celebrating with friends. Three can also literally mean three people. And these are coming in a pair, so you've had like a nice time, I would just say. You're coming into April having had a nice time. There may be like 2 or 3 specific people in your life that you're feeling really close to at this time, that you could be carrying with you into this next month. And I would just say ride this energy, like when you're having a bit of a moment, when you're having, sort of a wobble moment, kind of really lean into either your own sort of like positive sense of emotions, the things that make you happy, the things that you do that help to center you and nourish you, and also the people in your life that are supporting you, okay? And I mean, in your foundation, you've got the Five of Swords, so we've actually got 3 5s in the deck, so that's 5, 5, 5. Which you can look at that number if you want more information. I'm not like an Angel Answer expert or anything, but that's significant when these numbers are showing up in succession like that, right? Five of Swords, this is what's driving you. I just feel some tension. Um, and part of me is just like, oh, go get a massage or something. Like, make sure that your like body is feeling good, because if you're carrying tension in your body, that's going to go up into your mind, and then you're going to create these narratives, right? So I would suggest that you try, whenever you're having a moment in your mind where you start to spin, I would suggest just pulling back, regrounding, getting more embodied, and then just kind of feeling how your body feels and not allowing that tension to sort of bubble up and create story, right? I mean, again, I get change, and I get it with the adjustment card. I get it with the Five of Pentacles energy for you. And I just see these mirroring each other a bit. Sort of like worry. I know a lot of us are feeling financially insecure right now because of everything that's going on. That might be a perpetuating story in your head, or you may be kind of, I don't want to say catastrophizing, but one of the things that we generally do to cope when we're not sure what's going to happen is we predict what will happen, and that can give way to a lot of anxiety. And so I would be really careful about what you are predicting will happen, because it can feel like anxiety management to prepare for the worst case scenario, but that is not necessarily anxiety management. It can be very anxiety inducing, and I would try really hard to like recenter, get back in touch with who you are, what you need to be doing, the things and the people in your life that are supporting it, so that you don't get too carried away with your own thoughts. Okay. That's going to be really important for you this month. And then crowning you, this is like what you're thinking about. We've got the Queen of Swords and the Fool reversed. So the Fool reversed, new start, you're scared. That's immediately what I'm getting. So change is happening. You're starting a new cycle. You're like, is it going to be okay? Right? And Taurus, you're a very careful sign. Like, you don't really jump haphazardly into things. And I get the sense that this isn't what you're doing, but this is what you're like afraid that you're doing. And I would try not to overthink this new start, because sometimes you just have to jump. And that's what the Fool upright is all about. It's just leap of faith, trust in the universe that it's going to be all right. And I mean, this Fool energy is available to you. It's showing up in the reverse, but you have free will. You can upright this at any time. Okay, but this is just saying, in the reverse, don't hold yourself back because you're scared. Sometimes it's time to just jump. Okay, and you've got the Queen of Swords energy, so you are thinking things through very carefully. You're very receptive to information right now, and it's going to help you in this new start. It's going to help you, but make sure you're maintaining, this is upright, so make sure you're maintaining healthy levels of planning and strategy and thinking, because if you go too overboard with this, now you're in Five of Swords and you're spiraling, right? So careful. Again, when you feel yourself spinning stories, the things that support you, the people that support you. And these are emotional energies as well. So think about what makes you feel good. Who in your life makes you feel good? What in your life makes you feel good? Because it might be able to pull you out of a story, right? Okay. New circumstance, we've got another 5. We've got the 5 of Wands, we've got the 5 of Wands reversed. In the upright, it can just mean like fighting is happening, and I mean I see this whole coronavirus pandemic as like the whole world being in 5 of Wands energy. In the reversal though, you're fighting yourself. And so again, I'm just getting the sense that, you know, you may have these stories spinning and this tension that you're creating internally. And the outside around you does not necessarily need to impact the way that you feel if you have good boundaries and you're honoring your threshold and you're staying in touch with the things that you need and that make you feel good, right? So, but also you wouldn't be having, you know, this tension if there wasn't something to resolve. So I'm not saying that this energy is bad. I'm just saying that it may be a time in which you are dealing with some tension, and I encourage you to explore where that tension is coming from, because it may give you an indication of what can be resolved at this time. You wouldn't be triggered if those triggers weren't ready to resolve themselves. So take it as an opportunity to explore yourself, explore your body. Where is there tension? What is this tension trying to tell you, right? And then this is your attitude. This is your energy throughout this month, which is amazing. So I really get the sense that you're not out of your depth here, that these things are coming up and you do have awareness. You might have some wobbles, but you have the right resources, right? This is the Nine of Cups, which is the wish fulfillment card. So I get the sense that you are in tune with what you need and what makes you feel good, and you are pursuing those things. And then I get the Star energy, which is beautiful. It's another energy of like being in your power, but it's also very connected to you on a soul level. So like your intuition, your dreams, the things that you want, the things, I mean, your highest ideal of who you are, right? Which is another great resource, by the way, is just being like, I remember who the fuck I am, right? And this is your attitude. So you're really taking the high ground with these things that you're experiencing. Like it seems like you're really aware, you're really in tune, you know what's going to bring you back, and you're utilizing them. So that's great. In the position of your environment, this is sort of like your external circumstances. We've got the Ten of Swords reversed. Again, I get that a cycle is ending, and there could be some anxiety about a shift in your life. With Ten of Swords can really come like a last straw energy, like I'm sick of this, I'm tired of this, and I am kind of getting a pull to the Five of Swords here, where, I mean, these stories may be old, and maybe that's why they're coming up, right? Five of Pentacles can spin stories. Five of Wands can spin stories. Five of Swords can spin stories. Ten of Swords can spin stories, right? But with the Ten of Swords, is you're just like, I'm fucking done. I'm fucking done. And because this is in the reverse, it just may be a sense that, like, you know, because we're in a really uncertain place externally, and with this can also come financial difficulties. Because this is your external world, it doesn't necessarily mean you, but it could mean people in your life or things in your life. People in your life that could be struggling financially. Which, if it's triggering you, if their financial situation is triggering you, I would encourage you to explore that and figure out why. And it seems like you are in a position mentally where you're doing that because, again, with the Ten of Swords, it's like, all right, I'm done. Like, I'm done with this. But it's a purely mental energy. It's swords. It's the realm of air. It's thoughts. It's ideas. It's mental, right? So also, if people around you are experiencing high levels of anxiety, which I am getting for some of you, you need to ground and honor your own boundaries and not get it in your space, because that can overwhelm you, especially when you're dealing with your own triggers, right? So if people around you are really high anxiety, high energy right now, if they're spinning their own stories, if they're scared, it is not your responsibility to fix those people. You can be supportive, but you have to honor your own threshold if you're being supportive. So take extra precaution to know what is yours and what is not yours to deal with. You don't have to take on everyone else's load. Okay. In the position of what you fear, we've got the Six of Swords and we've got the Two of Pentacles. They're upright, which means positive change that you're terrified of, right? Two of Pentacles is all about change. It's moving from one phase to another, and it can mean juggling a lot. Like you might have a lot of tasks on your plate, so just make sure that you're monitoring that. You're not overstepping what you can do in any given day, and just do what you can to write things out, cross things off your list one by one, so that you're not overwhelming yourself with task. Right? You can only do what you can do, and I believe that you can do a lot, but just be mindful of your energy, right? And Six of Swords is just moving from one place to another, generally. So, and specifically, especially in the upright, moving from one place to a better place. Not that the place that you're in is bad, just that you're getting a bit of an upgrade, or you're kind of moving into calmer waters. So I do get the sense that this is a really positive transition for you. It's one you can handle, even though you might be juggling a lot. But just because of the nature of change itself in your relationship with it, you may be freaking out a little bit. You're going to be okay, Taurus. And then this is the position of your outcome. We've got the Queen of Cups, which is one of my favorite cards in the deck. I pull it for myself a lot. And we've got the High Priestess reversed. Another one of my favorite cards in the deck. I also pull that one a lot. You've got all these swords here. You've got a lot of mental chatter, a lot of mental energy. But this outcome here, I think you're kind of seeing how to isolate these narratives, how to separate your thoughts from your emotions, in a way that allows you to kind of approach them both differently. And it's getting you in a place where you're going to be feeling a bit more emotionally receptive in a positive way, where you're kind of like, oh, I'm getting a bigger sense now of like where my emotion is flowing and how those stories are coming out of that emotion, how to isolate the story, get rid of the stories that don't serve you, right? And then just kind of really nurture the emotion itself, which for you, Taurus, it's really important to check in with your body and sensation, because that is a big point of safety and security for you, what makes you feel good, right? And with the Queen of Cups is also a very intuitive energy. If you see in the card itself, there's sort of like, I don't know, it's almost like this cave or like room or something, and there's like water here, right? And this is sort of like reflected off the water. That is sort of you being able to look at yourself with your own self-awareness, like especially your emotional world, and being like, okay, this is what I need. This is how I'm feeling. This is what I need, in like a really intuitive and receptive way, that holds a mirror to you, but in a really soft way, in a way that feels nurturing for you, right? And then you've got the High Priestess reversed, which means that some of you are a little scared to go there. I mean, the Queen of Cups is in the upright, so you're going to be okay. But I think some of you are just kind of like, oh, my intuition, like, that's scary. Like, I can't tap into my emotions. I can't tap into that side of myself. But, I mean, because the Priestess is here, this energy is available to you in the upright because we have free will, right? So this is showing up in the upright to indicate that some of you are freaked out about doing that. I'm an Earth sign. I get the narrative of like, oh, if I can't see it, like if it's not, in my physical material world, then I can't control it, or narratives like that just like it feels hard to separate yourself from the really hard reality of the form as we experience it, right? But you're just intuitive, Taurus, as any other sign. And it can be just as nurturing for you, right? So see what you can do to kind of disappear into your own self. And if any resistance comes up, which it will, address that resistance and then see what it needs, right? And if you can do that, I think it'll lead you to a really beautiful place within yourself. Okay, that's a heavy reading. So the grand theme is being in your power, right? Managing transition in a good way. Observing narratives and stories and mind games within yourself as they come up. Addressing any tension in your body and doing what you can do to relax, leaning into the things that make you feel relaxed, leaning into the people that make you feel relaxed. Dot your T's, cross your T's, dot your I's, but jump. Take that leap of faith, because you're going to be okay. You're going to land. And you've got a lot of positive energies going for you as well. So it's just going to be really important to resource this month, and your resources are available to you. On your threshold, set your boundaries. You're feeling anxious, and you're not the only one. So when you're tackling your own anxiety, don't feel like you have to carry everyone else's anxieties as well, especially when you are in the midst of your own, right? Take space for yourself and give yourself what you need. Yeah, I think that's all I have for you. I hope you guys have a great month, and I love each and every one of you, and I hope to see you guys next time.